Hi, welcome back to McClatchy Maths. My name is Natalie McClatchy and today we are continuing our 2024 playlist on the external exams in Queensland for general maths by looking at some time series multiple choice questions from paper 1, and we're focusing on question 4, 6 and 14. Well, I'd just like to let you know a little bit more about how you can engage further with us here at the channel. Firstly, you can consider liking and subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you'll know when the next video is available. Why not follow us on Facebook and Instagram? You could consider telling someone by sharing this in your Class 1 note or hitting the share button, or even telling us in the comments. And if you want to keep the channel going, because it is quite time consuming and costly to produce these videos, so if you want these to be there for you a year from now, why not consider donating $2 on your super thanks button. You need to hit that little love heart. You can use your PayPal account, which is 100% secure. Okay, let's get started with our first of 3 questions. Choose the time series plot that could be best described as seasonal and increasing. So firstly, what we need to do is think about what is meant by seasonal. Seasonal means that it is repeating a pattern over time, and these are in quarters. So you'll be expecting there's 4 quarters in a year. So every 4th quarter, a pattern is going to be repeated. So if we look at this first one here, well, we could say that one's increasing, but if we look every 4th quarter, well, we're not seeing, we've got a dip here in the 3rd quarter, so we'd be expecting a dip in the 7th quarter. That's not what's happening. So we can rule out A. This one here looks more seasonal. If we look at the 2nd quarter, the 6th quarter, the 10th quarter, we've got lows in all of those and high in the 4th and the 8th. So that's repeating every 4 quarters, which is fantastic. It is definitely seasonal, but it's not increasing. You'll notice that it basically settles back at the same point, the same highs, the same lows. There's no increasing trend. So we can rule out B. Let's have a look at C now. We've got a roughly seasonal pattern here. Every 4th quarter, we've got that dip. And every 4th quarter up here, we've also got a high. But it's also, once again, not increasing. In fact, I would suggest it's slightly decreasing over time. So let's look at our final one. 2nd quarter, we've got a dip. 6th quarter, we've got a dip. 10th quarter, we've got a dip. And each time those dips are getting higher. So it's not only seasonal, but it's increasing, which means our answer is D. Question 6. The table shows the maximum daily temperature in degrees Celsius for a week. And we've got Monday through to Sunday, and we've got some temperatures here. If the simple 5-point moving average for Wednesday is 25 degrees, what is the simple 5-point moving average for Friday? Now, if I didn't know what a 5-point moving average was, I'd be a bit worried because I should know by the time of my external exams. But they've given me the clue that Wednesday is it. So I could play around if I wanted to and try and work out how they got 25 degrees for Wednesday. But I actually don't need to do that. It's kind of like a clue to help people out, but I don't need to do that if I know what a simple 5-point moving average is, which means I'm taking a moving average with Friday as my middle day. And I'm going to consider 5 pieces of data when I work that out. That's where the 5 points comes from. And they've told me it's Friday as my middle number. Okay, so what I need to do is add those numbers together to find X bar, which is the average, and divide it by 5. And if I add those together, I'm going to get 127.3 divided by 5. And that means my temperature is going to be 25.46. Now you'll notice that my options here all have 1 decimal place. So I'm going to have to round that up to the nearest one and do my rounding properly, which means that the answer is going to be B. If I round that incorrectly, I'm going to end up with A and get the answer wrong. Okay, next question, and it's the last question. Question 13. The table shows time series data for a company's quarterly sales. So I've got the 4 quarters, I've got the sales for the quarters, and I need to work out this last index here before I can determine the seasonally adjusted sales. So there's 2 parts to this question. First of all, work out what the index is, and then I need to de-seasonalize it. That's what seasonally adjusted means. Okay, so firstly, I need to remember that these 4 numbers here are going to add to the number 4. So seasonal indices, that's what that means. So I'm going to do 4, take away the sum of 0.6, 0.8, and 1. And I'm going to get a seasonal index of 1.6, which will replace that number 4. So now I take the actual sales, the real sales, and I divide them. Remember when we're doing de-seasonalising, it's always divide, divide, divide. So I'm going to divide that by 1.6. I get 4,500. It's answer A, and we're done. Well, if you have any questions about anything you saw in today's video, you could email me at mcclutchymaths@yahoo.com. You've been watching McClutchy Maths. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day.